What is up, guys? Welcome back to Random Select Daily number 7. Today's date is Thursday, April 11th, 2013, and today I want to talk a little bit about speedrunning. And before I get into it, I just want to kind of give my history of speedrunning. I'm just more of a casual viewer. With competitive gaming, I know a little bit more about that than I do speedrunning. I don't know how to even get into speedrunning necessarily. But I kind of want to talk about it because it's still one of my favorite things to watch in terms of video games, and it just shows the variety of fun you can get into a video game. So we have the single player guys that want to play for story or whatever. Then you have the people that play competitively in StarCraft and League of Legends and stuff like that. And then now, we have speedrunning where it's kind of like competitive gaming, but in terms of the game types is you just pick a single player game and you play through it as quick as you can. Hence the speedrunning. You're running through it as quickly as you can. And and what's cool about speedrunning is you're still you kind of play against yourself at first, and then you're competing against world record, and it's really fun to get behind when you watch these streamers. And so there's a lot of different types of games that are out there, and if you're one of those guys that doesn't like the current gen, doesn't like what gaming has become, quote unquote, speedrunning might be something you want to watch, because these guys, they do have new games. Like I've seen I think a BioShock speedrun, right? BioShock 1. I've also seen games down to like the first Legend of Zelda, you know. And probably the most popular one is Super Mario 64 and Sig. I don't know how to say his full name, his full Twitch name, but basically this guy is, he plays Super Mario 64. He does all different star runs, like 70-star run, 120-star run, and he beats them in an absurd amount of time. And you'll kind of watch a speed run. It depends on which one you see, of course, but when you see them beat a game so quickly that it took you 12 hours, and some games do have glitches that make you kind of go, well, okay. Some people like glitches, some people don't, but that's kind of what's the beauty of speedrunning, is that there's so many different types. The another example I want to kind of bring up is Pokemon, and I think Pokemon is one of the prime examples of why I personally love speedrunning and watching it. So when every kid that's played Pokemon, they caught a lot of Pokemon, right? They kept their starter. Everyone loved Nidoking in that genre, or in that generation, and stuff like that. You trained them, you grind, you faced every trainer you could. But in Pokemon, if you watch a Pokemon, at least Generation 1, I haven't watched the other generation speedrun, it's very precise. They have a certain route that's quickest through caves. You only catch like a bird Pokemon, just so you can fly, I think. And they use one Pokemon, and their Pokemon will be underleveled fighting the Elite Four. I don't know how many of you struggled against the Elite Four, at least when you're younger, with a full 6 Pokemon that were like at the same level or even higher, and had a bunch of potions and stuff like this, and you still failed. You watch these speedrunners, they take Blastoise or Charizard and just say, yeah, we're gonna beat you 10 levels under, and kind of, I guess, quote unquote, abuse some game tactics that most people probably wouldn't think about. And I feel like speedrunning really takes advantage of, like, they look into how the game is made, and they break it down, and they go, okay, so this is how this game works, and this is how I'm gonna have to abuse this, or not abuse. I don't like the word abuse, but take advantage of this, right? In Pokemon, personally, I've always been a person that didn't like using items. Whether it's a potion, stuff like that. I kind of wanted to avoid it. I'd rather have my Pokemon be strong enough to just kind of win everything. But as you've probably seen, I don't remember Pokemon the speedrun that well. It's been a while since I watched it, but a lot of these games use like potions, or they'll take something that you wouldn't normally think of and just kind of run with it. Like what it takes to beat a game, and what is the best way to beat a game. It's kind of interesting. And also, there's what's kind of cool about speedrunning is, if you don't like this current generation, or if you do but you miss the old generation, speedrunning is probably the thing you want to kind of talk about, because speedrunning, it ranges from games, from every generation. I've seen a BioShock 1 run, and as you saw there's a Nintendo 64 run, there is Game Boy runs, there are Super Nintendo runs. Like right here, they have, like I said, PS1, games or PS2 games, if you miss those platformers like Crash and Spyro, that was one that I kind of got into. And last but not least, the N64. Like, there's a bunch of games out there that, and if you always had that game that you liked but no one ever really knew about, there's a chance that there's a speed run of it, and you can find someone streaming of it, and you can kind of follow them and kind of get this nostalgia feeling. And what's cool about it is, like, these old games especially, you go, wow, I've never thought to play this game this way. And I always felt it's so cool what speedrunning does and has, that I kind of want to talk about it, kind of give a public service announcement kind of thing, and hopefully people get into it. I'll try to leave some links about them. There's a couple of websites that you might want to see. Speeddemosarchive.com, I believe is what it is. Has all the world record attempts. This is a worldwide thing. They'll have it separated between different consoles and stuff like that. One of my personal favorites that I've been watching is Final Fantasy 13. Like, I know a lot of people don't like the story, but that's kind of the beauty of speedrunning. If you like the combat of 13, it's really fun to watch. Like, at this high level kind of, use, like, one of the things that I realized in Final Fantasy 13, if you haven't played the game, it builds up your ATB meter, and then you can also switch paradigms. Apparently, I was kind of using a glitch. I don't know if it's a glitch, but taking advantage of an aspect of the game where you attack and then you switch, and then your ATB kind of like instant refills. And that was something that I was personally doing that, I didn't know exactly how it worked, but it's kind of cool to see that, oh, if you do this, it, speeds up the process. And, you don't, Final Fantasy ones are always the most interesting because, generally in Final Fantasy, they're such long games that you kind of avoid every encounter, but still beat the last boss at like level 5 or whatever, level 10. And so yeah, it's such an interesting aspect. Go to speeddemosarchive.com to see like the world records and personal records, and also see which games are speedrun. And then probably the most important one is speedrunslive.com, or just, I think there might be a Twitch like group for it, but this is where a bunch of speedrunners stream their stuff on Twitch, whether it's them going for a world attempt, whether it's a race with other speedrunners, or maybe they're just working on a game. And it's kind of fun to go through that process with them and kind of learn with them. And then, my personal favorite thing to do with speedrunning is see something that they do and kind of incorporate it into my gameplay. Like with single player games now, ever since I saw speedrunning, I kind of like trying to figure out the game more than just kind of at its face value. Like, try to figure out, like, well, what power in BioShock Infinite is actually the strongest? What am I going to get the most bang for the buck, right? And it's so interesting to see all these, I keep on saying glitches and abusing, but I don't want to scare people off, because I know there's a lot of people that don't like people that kind of glitch the game or abuse it, even though it's kind of accepted or whatever. But it's such a unique way to break down a game. Like, if you watch competitive gaming, they break down what is the best characters, what is the best way to get to those characters, what's the best way to play a game, what's the best strategy there. And that's the exact same thing in speedrunning. And speedrunning to some extent sometimes is even harder because it's such a pinpoint thing. I know Super Mario 64, like I said, is the most popular. Is such a such a well-timed game that it's been broken down so much that there are maybe one or two routes, or I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a professional or whatever at this, but there's not too many routes out there. Like, it's not just like whoever can run to the quickest stars and remember how to play the game. It's literally like, remember when to jump, how to jump. There's like certain parts you have to hit the jump, and otherwise you don't get this world record. And some games that are getting such beat down that, in Super Mario 64, no matter how quick you beat it, it's still, I think, I don't know how long it is. I can't remember. It's still a couple of hours, or at least an hour. I know that. And some of these long games like Final Fantasy, where if you screw up, like let's say you lose to a boss, and you're 5 hours in, or 3 hours in, or whatever, you're screwed. You have to start that over. It's such a challenge to see. There's some games that are beaten in 10 minutes or whatever, and that's easy to learn and do. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to share the wonder I see as speedrunning. There's a lot of streamers out there. It's not just all League of Legends and StarCraft. If you do get a chance to look them up, find your favorite game, watch a streamer, and kind of join him or her on their process. And I would love to see more of these speedrunners kind of get bigger. And I feel like they put so much work in for something that could be potentially like very fun to watch to a lot of people. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned a little bit about speedrunning. Like I said, I don't know the most about it. I'm more of a casual viewer. Maybe when my life is a little more stable or whatever, I will I would love to maybe get into it. But otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed, and check out those links, and see you guys all later. Adios.